Hello, welcome to Scrap Time episode 771. My name is Christine, and on today's episode I'm showing you the book Creative Foundations by Vicki Boutin. Today I am showing you the book Creative Foundations by Vicki Boutin. This is Vicki's first book. I'm going to just start by showing you the table of contents. Inside you find foundations with a bunch of techniques, textures, supplements, embellishments, layered on, where she combines a variety of these techniques, and then a little help from my friends, where she had some people do the techniques on their own projects. So what you will find is samples of the finished project, and then how to do the project and what you need, and step-by-step instructions. And there's a whole bunch of different, there's 40 different techniques basically in here. You have an embossed resist, using glitter tape. Here's some paper piecing, foil transfers. So lots of great techniques that you can use in all sorts of projects, be it scrapbooking, card making, little pieces of art, whatever you'd like. The one I'm going to show you today is creating some texture using gesso with some then later inks and paints. So here's one sample that I've made, and what you want to do is you layer out, you put down some gesso, and while it is wet you want to take one of your stamps and stamp into the gesso. So in this case I used the stamp from Hero Arts. It was one of the basic gray stamps, I think, and there was some flowers and then just this sort of grid texture. And that's how I got that texture on the background of this postcard. And then I have taken some paints and gone over it. I'm going to do this step by step. And I just want to show you, I did a art journal page. So here in this art journal page, I actually used a variety of stamps. There's the little chicken wire and sort of bubble wrap stamp and different stamps going on into my gesso. Then I put my paint over top, and then I stamped out my tweet, tweet, tweet here using archival inks. I cut my little birdie here from a Lifestyle Crafts die. And all these little word bubbles are also from a die from Lifestyle Crafts. And then I just have some Twitter pet peeves. And so if you can't complain in your journal, where can you complain, right? So I just put my little pet peeves about Twitter on this page. So I have this piece here. You might be able to see the design in it. I've used a damask stamp in my gesso. I did this step already just to speed up the process so we're not waiting for the gesso to dry. So I just put you don't need to go really thick with your gesso. I put a thin layer on, and then I stamped into it and then let it dry. So first I want to try and get some ink into the stamped areas. I'm going to use some Distress ink. This is Squeezed Lemonade. This is part of the new Spring Colors by Tim Holtz. You get Squeezed Lemonade, it's peacock feathers and shaded lilac. They're really pretty colors. So I'm just going to ink it up, put it on, and you'll see some of that design now starting to pop out. So we're just trying to get it right down into this stamped image. So you should be able to see now that we have a little damask stamp going on there. Now because you have the gesso and the Distress ink is a dye ink, when I go to rub over it, it's going to rub right off the gesso part because it's not a permanent ink. So we'll just take off some of that. You can see how it's come off on my paper towel. So that is why next we're going to use acrylic paint over it. So I'm using my Echo Green paints. Give them a shake. And I'm just going to put a little dab of paint beside my work area here. If you are doing a larger project, you'd probably want more paint. But because I'm just painting this little postcard, a little dab will do me probably, hopefully. So that was primary yellow, and this is coral. I really love this coral color. And of course, pink, yellow, and coral is one of my favorite combinations. So to apply the paint, I'm using a little makeup sponge this time around because I don't want a thick layer. I just want it thin. So that texture, I don't want to fill in the texture. I still want to be able to see the texture. So I'm going to put a bit of yellow. And I'm just rubbing it in. And I use yellow as a base a lot of times just because so many colors work so well with yellow. And I'm going to pick up a bit of pink and just sort of, and you may notice that as I put another color on, it's almost as if it's taking off the previous color. So you have to sort of play around with it to see what you like, what you don't like, how much paint you want. And I'll go back and do a few layers. But you also maybe see some of that design popping up. I'm going to pick up some of the coral. And I try to keep it fairly thin to start, and then later on I'll go back and add where I want some of those. Where I want more color or less color to be. Now I went in with the Distress ink first because the book told me to. But if I find it gives you that initial base, but as you put more color in, you'll also see how it's filling in those grooves as well. So I'm not sure if it's 100% necessary to fill it in first with the Distress ink, but you can try by filling it in and then not filling it in, whatever you want. So now that I have my base of the colors, I'm just going to go back and punch it up with some color. Now one of the things I like about doing postcards as compared to regular cards or that is that I don't have to put a lot over top of this because it is a postcard. You can't mail something that's really has lots of other stuff added to it. So all I'm really doing is making a cute little piece of art. So once I finish doing this, it will be ready to go in the mail. So it's just a nice little piece of art. If I wanted to, I could stamp a greeting, of course, but I don't have to. I can just mail a nice little thing, write something on the back, and you're good to go. So if you just like to play around and create some fun little pieces of art, then a postcard is the perfect medium to do that with. So I'm just now layering it on, but you can see how it's gotten darker from when I first started doing it. And by using a sponge instead of a brush, it has just that light touch. And the texture in the back, it doesn't totally pop out, but it just provides that really nice texture without fighting the paint and that. So I'm just pretty much done here. And now I have a fun little postcard. So Vicki's book has loads, as I said, 40 different techniques to try out. This is just one of them. And so if you're looking to try some new techniques and add some little bit of art to your projects, I would definitely recommend Vicki's book, Creative Foundations. And there you can see our finished little postcard design. Well, that's it for today's episode. Be sure to check out our website at www.scraptime.ca. And on our next episode, I'm showing you some of the latest Lifestyle Crafts core dies with Fancy Pants papers. So please join us. Thanks for watching Scrap Time.